Welcome to Farmtown Misadventures with Charlie Manylayers and Old JJ. In this episode, we'll be looking at freezing flower growth, why you do it, and how you do it. Enjoy. This farm here is one where I've extensively used the freezing of flowers. These flowers down here, for instance, are all unfrozen. They're regular production, and when they're currently in full bloom, ready for harvesting. But in contrast, now I'll zoom in here just a little bit and show you some of the detail in this. These pads, as an example, where I have the oil refinery, it is completely surrounded by flowers that are frozen. And I do that in such a way that they are not harvested and therefore do not go through the growing process. But the downside is they do have to be watered periodically, about every other day. Otherwise, they will show dark brown just as a normal crop or normal flower would. But that's the reason I do it. This particular farm, I did it prior to the use of the tool, and so I individually froze each and every one of these flowers. As an example, this cosmos here, to freeze it, unfreeze it, I would left click, and in this case it is frozen. If it was unfrozen, it would just say freeze growth, and you can see this by going over to one of these others as an example, where there's that yellow lily, and you see it's ready for harvest. If I wanted to freeze it, I would come in here, left click, and do freeze growth. And if I wanted to take and use the Farm Cache tool, which is freeze growth, freeze, unfreeze growth, it is located just above the watered flower water, and it's freezes or unfreezes flowers in bulk. And once it's activated, as an example, I'll just click on it, like with any other tool. And as an example, I'm going to come over here on top of these yellow lilies again, and it's going to, if I get right on top of one and click, okay, it'll ask me if I want to take and freeze or unfreeze, and of course I would be freezing in this particular instance, and I don't freeze just that one, but I freeze a total of all 289 yellow lilies. Or if I want to go this way, I freeze all flowers that are not frozen on the farm, about 14,000 of them, almost 15,000. But that's how you would use that. If you want to unfreeze everything, you just do the opposite over here, and then it leaves this all the same, but you're left there. When this is activated, like it is right now, you'll notice over here there's the eye. This is a change that has been made since the conversion And now it's represented as an eye like this, where before it was an eye that looked more like just an eyelid, like this does, right here, okay? Okay, so with it open, you see all of the flowers and the facilities and the crops and whatever else is there. With it closed, all of that disappears, and you'll notice that even though I have the facilities in various levels here, once I close that off, those facilities are not visible. So you can see more of the detail work that we did. As an example, even down in here. Well, I guess we're going to have to take and go back here to this. You can see that even like these purple crocus that I use for this border is all frozen, each individually frozen. Had I put just the the flowers to be frozen on here first with no other auxiliary flowers, I could have just frozen all flowers, and then come through and do all the other work, because all of these, as an example, are unfrozen. And these are basically each variety of flowers that there is in colors. And some people do some fantastic work with flowers and painting pictures. Myself, I'm an amateur at this, but I know that some of the techniques, but I don't have the skill. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask.